guys, it's Jacob from Stringbuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being the music journalism site. Links are in the description down below. We have a brand new song review for you today, and it's 3 Days Grace new track, You Don't Get Me High Anymore. I just looked up then, and obviously I've got the original track on the screen, which is by Phantogram. Yes, it is a pop song cover, so going into this track, I was a little bit worried. You know, you look at the comebacks which have happened from the early 2000s and mid 2000s from the stateside and Canadian rock bands, because obviously 3 Days Grace are Canadian. They haven't gone too well. You've got Good Charlotte, they sound terrible. Sum 41 sounded really corny and out of it. Blink-182 sounded awful. The only two saving grace are Papa Roach, who never really left, but I quite like their new track, and Jimmy Eat World are still sounding fairly decent. But, you know, the odds are against them going into this track. I was a little bit worried, and if they take this sort of pop-type mixing and put it to, this style of track, you're going to get another Blink track, you're going to get another Blink-type album, and it's a worrying stage going into this track. Now, I actually quite like 3 Days Grace. I liked Pain, I liked Animal I've Become, I even liked I Hate Everything About You, even though that song got a little bit overplayed. So I actually quite like them going into this track. I know they've changed singers, which I'm a little bit bummed about. But mind you, they've had this new singer for about 3 years now. But obviously, because I've never really heard music from them in the last 5 years, even though I'm sure they've probably released some, because I just haven't been following them. So people probably like them with this new singer because they seem to have just as big of a fan base. I kind of like the old singer, if I'm honest, and with this track, I just didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like this cover one bit. I found it was so corny, and it did give me horrible flashbacks to, say, like Skillet and their new album. Whew, if I was to link any band closely to this, it would probably be someone like Skillet. I actually got a sort of an Arctic Monkeys vibe out of the instrumentation, which I certainly didn't expect. But if you've listened to the latest Arctic Monkeys album, which came out about 2 years ago now, that, even though I didn't enjoy it, it had instrumentation which had this sort of weird driving quirky riff, which is quite similar to what 3 Days Grace used here to cover Phantogram's track. I didn't actually like the original Phantogram track that much, so it's sort of it's a bit of a horcrux really, that I didn't like the original track, and how am I going to like the cover by a group which, okay, but I don't expect to do well, and they haven't done too well, so it's a bit of a difficult one for me to really comment on. The production of this thing... the guitar sounds okay, a bit too muffled. The bass sounds pretty decent. I mean, it covered my subwoofers pretty well. The drums sound quite nice. They have a very nice deep kick, and they have a really cutting snare, which I enjoyed. But the vocals sound like pop vocals with this really grainy voice. It reminded me of Escape the Fates' new track's vocal mixing. Just doesn't sound right with this group. So I didn't really enjoy the production all too well, despite things were functional. The musicality is so dull. I mean, the verses are so boring. The chorus is okay. I quite like, but that's more down to the lyricism than the actual vocal melodies. And the form is quite bad. The sort of quieter chorus bridge is not something I enjoy. Obviously, it's nursery rhyme structure again, rather than a pop song structure or a rock song structure or a prog song structure. We've gone for the most basic of things here again, and I just found this. I'm finding it so hard to properly comment on because I can only use words like bland and dull and kind of safe. Because it's not glaring. There's no glaringly bad flaws here. There's nothing which makes me go, Christ, how did they get away with even putting this out to their fans? But then there's no moments which have been like, they've got potential coming off of this one. It's literally one of those sort of pointless tracks as a casual consumer that you're just not going to enjoy. I think fans of the group are enjoying this cover, so I can't really knock them for it. I mean, it's probably just fan service at this point. It's not, say, like Moe's new song, which even the fans didn't like. It's actually, it's more dedicated to the people who've been following them rather than someone like me who's sort of tinkered about with the group in the past. So I'm feeling sort of like a 5 out of 10 for this one. I know that's probably seeming a little bit higher than what I've been saying in this review, but it is sort of average, and there's not enough flaws for me to pull it further down. So, I mean, I recommend a listen for fans of the song, but for casual listeners, it's just not worth the bother. There's nothing here which is exciting. The musicality isn't exciting enough. The lyricism is okay, but then you can just listen to the original song for that. And the production is pretty bad, so... yeah, I'd love to hear what you think down in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this review, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.